Two very different philosophies collide in the American bagger segment. Honda's silky six-cylinder Tour, stripped of its top case, versus Indian's torquey V-twin PowerPlus cruiser. Here's how the 2026 Goldwing Bagger stacks up against the Challenger Limited across 9 key points. The Goldwing Bagger runs Honda's signature 1833cc horizontally opposed six-cylinder engine, a layout prized for decades for its inherent balance, low vibration, and near turbine-like refinement. 6 small pistons moving in a flat, symmetrical arrangement simply produce less mechanical harshness and less vibration through the bars and foot pegs than a big V-twin ever can, which matters enormously on multi-hour freeway stretches. The Challenger Limited counters with Indian's 1768cc, 108 cubic inches, liquid-cooled PowerPlus V-twin, a thoroughly modern design with an 11.0:1 compression ratio and a 52mm dual-bore closed-loop fuel injection system that trades cylinder count for unmistakable V-twin character. Riders chasing mechanical silkiness and a hidden powertrain will lean Honda, while those who want to feel every combustion pulse of a traditional American V-twin will lean firmly toward Indian's approach. Neither engine is a new concept, but both represent the most refined execution of their respective architecture currently on sale in the touring bagger class today. Honda's Flat 6 produces roughly 125 horsepower at 5,500 RPM and 125 pound-feet of torque at 4,500 RPM with a broad, linear curve that pulls hard from idle all the way to redline without any noticeable dip. The Challenger's PowerPlus V-twin makes approximately 122 horsepower and 128 pound-feet of torque, arriving lower in the rev range at just 3,800 RPM. On paper, the two power figures are close enough that neither engine feels dramatically underpowered next to the other, but they feel completely different in practice. The Honda revs out with turbine-like reach and rewards riders who like to use the whole tachometer, while the Indian delivers a meatier, more immediate low-end shove that's classic big-inch V-twin behavior, ideal for effortless roll-on passing at touring speeds without needing to drop a gear or chase revs on the highway. The Goldwing Bagger is available with either a conventional 6-speed manual gearbox or Honda's acclaimed 7-speed dual-clutch transmission, which shifts with car-like smoothness, offers selectable automatic or manual paddle shift modes, and includes a low-speed walking mode that lets riders creep the bike forward or backward under power. The Challenger Limited sticks with a traditional 6-speed manual paired to a wet, multi-plate assist clutch that keeps lever pull noticeably light for a bike of this size, easing fatigue in stop-and-go traffic. Honda's DCT option is the standout piece of engineering here for riders who want touring-focused convenience and reduced fatigue, while Indian keeps things classic and rider-controlled, which traditionalists and riders who simply prefer a manual clutch will appreciate on long rides. Honda's double wishbone front suspension is engineered specifically to reduce the Goldwing's perceived bulk by minimizing shock transmission to the handlebars and cutting the inertial mass riders must manage while turning. Even at roughly 806 pounds wet, with a 66.9-inch wheelbase, the Bagger manages to feel more nimble than its numbers suggest, aided by a notably low center of gravity from that flat 6 layout. The Challenger Limited, by contrast, is actually the heavier of the two at approximately 840 pounds wet, 381 kilograms, and rides on a more conventional 43mm inverted telescopic fork up front, giving it a familiar cruiser bagger feel through corners, rather than Honda's more exotic setup, with steering input that feels more traditional and predictable to riders coming from other American cruisers. Both bikes are large, heavy machines by any standard, but the Goldwing's chassis engineering does noticeably more to disguise its mass at low speed and in tight turns, a genuine advantage for riders navigating parking lots or U-turns on a fully loaded touring bike. The Goldwing Bagger's seat sits at 29.3 inches, keeping it reasonably accessible despite its touring bulk, with ergonomics tuned for long days in the saddle effective heat management around the rider's legs, and a suede-like seat cover for added comfort. The Challenger Limited undercuts that with a lower 26.5-inch, 672mm seat height, paired with a pulled-back handlebar and a one-piece dual seat, giving it a notably low, cruiser-style seating position that many shorter or newer riders will find easier to flat-foot confidently at stops and in parking lots. Both machines prioritize rider comfort over long distances, but the Indian stance leans more toward traditional cruiser ergonomics, while the Honda splits the difference between full touring posture and bagger-style minimalism, offering a slightly more upright, relaxed reach to the bars than the Indian's pulled-back layout.
Honda equips the Goldwing with a 7-inch touchscreen supporting wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, Bluetooth pairing, 4 selectable ride modes: Sport, Tour, Econ, and Rain, electronic cruise control, and Honda selectable torque control that constantly monitors rear wheel speed. Indian counters with its Ride Command infotainment system across the Challenger line, along with a tire pressure monitoring system, keyless ignition, a USB charging port, and Bluetooth connectivity for calls and music as standard equipment. Both brands have invested heavily in rider-facing tech in recent years, though Honda's wireless smartphone integration and 4-mode throttle-by-wire system currently give it a slight edge in everyday convenience and weather mode adaptability, especially for riders who frequently switch between commuting and long tours.
As a bagger variant, the Goldwing trades the Tour model's 61-liter top trunk and tall windscreen for a shorter screen and a leaner, more streamlined silhouette, while still retaining substantial hard saddlebag capacity for genuine two-up touring. The Challenger Limited ships standard with remote-locking hard saddlebags, offering more than 68 liters of combined storage, an electrically adjustable windscreen, adjustable fairing vents for airflow management, and keyless ignition thrown in as part of the base package. For riders who want the maximum standard storage capacity straight from the dealership without adding accessories, the Challenger Limited currently holds a real numbers advantage over Honda's bagger-style trim, making it the more practical, out-of-the-box choice for riders who tour two-up with heavy luggage. The Goldwing Bagger starts at a base price of $25,550, with the DCT version priced at $26,500, plus a $775 destination charge on either configuration. The Challenger Limited 108 carries a higher price of $28,749. That gives Honda's manual transmission bagger a meaningful price advantage of roughly $3,000 over the Indian, though the gap narrows somewhat once the DCT option and destination charges are factored into a true apples-to-apples manual versus automatic comparison between the two brands. Indian's higher asking price does reflect a more generous standard equipment list, including saddlebags, adjustable windscreen, and TPMS bundled in from the base trim rather than offered as costly add-ons, which narrows the effective value gap once comparable equipment is factored in. The Goldwing carries 5 decades of touring pedigree, built around Honda's global reputation for engineering refinement, long-term reliability, and genuinely all-day riding comfort across any road condition. The Challenger represents Indian's more modern, aggressive push into the American bagger space, layering contemporary V-twin performance and rider tech onto the brand's deep cruiser heritage. Choosing between them ultimately becomes as much about brand identity and dealer network proximity as it is about spec sheet numbers. Honda's broad global reach, extensive dealer network, and touring-first ethos stand against Indian's distinctly American V-twin heritage, bagger-focused attitude, and growing enthusiasm within the modern cruiser community. The Goldwing Bagger wins on drivetrain refinement, low-speed maneuverability, and price, especially in DCT form, making it the pick for riders prioritizing smoothness and long-haul comfort. The Challenger Limited counters with more standard storage, punchier low-end torque, and unmistakable V-twin character for traditionalists. Riders wanting silky, turbine-smooth touring with lower cost of entry should choose Honda. Riders wanting classic American V-twin muscle, bundled storage, and cruiser-forward styling should choose Indian. Either way, both represent the strongest bagger offerings their respective brands have fielded in years.